I would pray for Dad to come back to the church.
How can he not believe anymore? He's breaking his promise to me, to God.
I would say, please, please, please bless that Daddy will come back to the church.
What happens if I don't believe anymore? Is she still going to love me the way I am?
But now I kind of feel like me and him have a better connection now that he's not in the church.
I wish this wasn't happening.
Welcome to Unequally Yoked, the podcast for couples in mixed belief marriages. I am Neal Winters.
I'm Naomi.
And welcome. Before we get started, I just wanted to thank Daniel for his contribution on Patreon. It's very appreciated and very welcome, and I'm hopeful that more folks will contribute to our fundraising efforts. Podcasting isn't free, and we appreciate the help. So, and let's see here. What else? Oh, we have a grand total of three reviews on iTunes. It would be nice to see some more reviews go up. We always enjoy hearing your feedback and your input.
Unless it's negative, then just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I don't think we've received any negative input so far.
No, I mean comments where they don't like what we say, but we expected that.
Yeah, that's part of being on air. Now, so today's podcast is a little bit weird because I think we're going to start with one subject and it's going to morph into another. So today is Friday, November 6th.
Isn't that what we always do?
Yes, it is. Today's Friday, November 6th. Yesterday, the LDS Church, of which Naomi is a member, released a policy statement. Actually tried to silently give this policy statement to the lay leaders, saying that children of homosexual parents, or same-gender attracted parents, as the LDS Church likes to say, whose parents live together cannot have their name, cannot be blessed and given a name as an infant, cannot be baptized, cannot receive the Aaronic priesthood, basically cannot go through any of the normal rites of passage as what normal LDS youth go through until they're 18, stop living with their parents, and basically say that they acknowledge that their parents' lifestyle is a great sin. So that's kind of
a nice spin.
Yeah,
of making it seem as bad as possible. But
that I think it is that bad. I really do.
I know you do.
I really do. So that's the backdrop for what we've been discussing this week.
Today.
Well, no, we had this not about this specific thing,
but
we had this conversation last Saturday at breakfast and wanted to discuss it.
Yeah.
This week. So
I mean I've been giving a lot of thought into we have different beliefs. Mm-hmm. And as much as you try to say, or one might try to say, that it doesn't affect, like, why should it matter so much that we believe different, we're still kind of the same people. It does affect what kind of people you are. Uh-huh. And I've been thinking a lot about, like, respect. When, like, I hear you say, I just lost a whole lot of respect for that person. Uh-huh. And so it kind of made me think, well, these beliefs, is that something we look at each other and we go, I just lost a whole lot of respect for that person.
Respect for, when you say for that person, do you mean for your spouse?
Yeah. And worrying that you see that in me with beliefs that you think are silly or harmful or, anything that I can see lots of ways that it would go that way. So, I mean, can you be married to someone that you don't respect like you used to? Or, how much do you have to respect? So that's kind of what I was thinking about this week. But it really hit home today when, I woke up and you read me that policy change. That wasn't my first thought. My first thought was, okay, I'm out. I can't do this. That's messed up. Mm-hmm. I don't like that policy. Mm-hmm. But that was my knee-jerk reaction. After, some more thought and calming down, I realized I have a lot invested in this church. There's a lot of the gospel that really blesses my life, that I like, that sits right, that helps me. And this is a policy, not a doctrine. And I don't like it, but I'm not going to go out and preach stuff because it doesn't apply to me, specifically.
What happens if what happens if one of our children turns out to be gay? Then what do you do?
I don't know. I'm screwed. I'm so screwed.
And
because that's the thing, is that there are things in the gospel that I can't say I have a testimony of. Uh-huh. And there are things that don't sit right. I kind of go, but I just kind of table it and go, is that super important right now to me personally? And if it is, then I have to really deal with it. If it's not, then I take what is really nice and helpful to me and say, okay, well, I'm going to work with that. And this other stuff, hopefully someday will make sense.
Okay, so I understand that, and I understand wanting to take the best things out of the religion that worked for you. What I don't understand is knowing that this policy can be very, very harmful to children of these parents who are living together with members of the same sex. Can put children in the middle of this relationship, in the middle of the marriage. How do you reconcile that?
They're already in the middle of the marriage. That's the thing, that it's a situation. It's not like it's just they're in the middle of it. That's their family.
They are in the middle of it, but the church is placing them even more in the middle of it. That's my...
It's a matter of they're going to be able to decide and understand more fully without legal repercussions for the church having to deal with crap.
The church deserves all the legal repercussions it gets. This is terrible.
Age.
This is a terrible policy.
But that's not what we're not here to debate that. I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
Okay.
I have all day been trying to rack my brain with some sort of what you call mental gymnastics or
cognitive dissonance.
I just trying, for me, I'm a debater, so I try to go through the arguments and I keep trying to find something that would make sense for me. And I can make all sorts of logical good arguments, but when it comes right down to it, it just still doesn't sit right. My core says, I don't think God would do that. But in my life, I've learned to trust him. He's done a lot of things that
Are these
I don't
people
get.
Speaking for God?
Maybe, maybe not. But I don't have to decide that because it's not a doctrine. It's procedural.
It's pretty ingrained, though. You get excommunicated. This is apostasy. This is up there with rape, with incest, with all these horrible things, and they're punishing children.
That's if they've been members.
Yeah, but no. if you're a child,
then it's apostasy.
Yeah. And
I thought we weren't going to debate. I mean, that's the thing. I know I don't want to debate this. It doesn't help relationships at all. There's no point in it.
Okay.
And the truth is, I probably don't disagree with you.
Okay. So this...
I'm trying to tell myself stuff to appease myself to just
I just
table
don't see
it.
any way that you can table it.
Yeah.
I just...
Well, I don't have to decide anything now. I can go along in life, and I mean, it just doesn't, it's not on a personal level yet.
So you're willing to set it aside at the moment?
For now.
Okay. So this gets back into respect.
Right. How do you respect a person that does that? I mean, because obviously it's horrible.
Yeah.
To you.
It's terrible to me.
And there are some beliefs you have that I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah.
That speaks to character. What the heck? How can I be married to that?
How do you handle that?
Well, what did our therapist say today?
You have to weigh the 50% that you see as good against the 50% that you see as bad.
Which I suppose is what I'm doing with the church. Yeah, I mean, there's good and bad things in every marriage and in every person that you see. Things that you like. And so you decide what's most important and focus on that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the things that super matter to me are the kind of dad you are, the way you treat our children, the way that you treat me and speak to me with such respect, and the way that you are able to communicate and listen to my feelings and care, and the fact that you care so much about people feeling important and loved and accepted. I love that. And so all the other stuff, I go, yeah, that really bugs me. I don't like that. But in my marriage and in my life right now, is that really the most important thing?
Yeah. I'm reminded, I've told you this before, but I'm reminded of the show Forrest Gump. And I don't know if you remember this scene or not, but Jenny is in Washington, D.C.
Run, Forrest.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is in Washington, D.C., and her boyfriend hits her on the gives her a black eye. And Forrest, of course, attacks the dude and starts beating him up. But the guy says something to the effect of, well, that damn Nixon, he made me do this.
It's his fault.
It's his fault. And he blames Nixon for his stupidity and for his rage. And it's sometimes I want to blame the church for my stupidity and my rage. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's like I worry so much about these big overarching issues that the church faces that I forget how it implies to my small little family. And I guess that's where I'm going with this is with you and some of the things that you believe about the church. It's hard for me to set aside my big picture view of it and remember that I married you and I didn't marry the church.
Right.
And in the same token, you didn't marry the church, you married me.
But like, you're different now.
Yeah.
You're like very different. Like, yeah, everybody changes and everybody grows and they turn into different people, but this is pretty intense. So, did I marry you? Or did I marry someone else?
You didn't marry the me I am today for sure.
But there's definitely some core in there. Like that core, the things I mentioned that are super important to me. That's that's the stuff that really mattered. And that's there. That's core Neal right there.
So so we're setting aside all these things that we see about each other that are less than desirable. I'm going to address the elephant in the room. The biggest issue in our marriage right now is pornography. And Naomi doesn't like it, and I don't see as many problems with it as what I used to. I'm not an addict by any stretch of the imagination, but I do view occasionally. And this is a big deal for us in our marriage, and I'm guessing that it's a big deal for a lot of listeners, whether or not they want to admit it. The game is starting, the drinking game. Naomi is already tearing up.
Shut up. I'm not. I'm not crying. I'm not tearing up. You shocked me.
You didn't think I was going to go there.
I didn't think you were going there.
Well, it's kind of hard to have this conversation without that topic coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to debate pornography with you, but we have to talk about the feelings that you have and your repulsion for it.
Oh, boy.
Do you want to get into this? Or do we need to stop recording and go back?
Oh, boy. I'm going to have to tread lightly here with everything I include and everything I don't.
Okay.
It's not just a personal thing for me to feel. I mean, yes, I feel unloved, rejected, like I'm not enough for you, that you have to look at other women. Judged, compared. I worry that when we're doing things, are you thinking about them? Are you thinking about that? Do you decide you'd rather go take care of business watching them because it's faster and easier than with me? At what point does it become more, what's that word? Appealing? To go that route, and then I become I'm obsolete. And so, yeah, I worry about all that, but I also, you're so into, like, women being treated with respect and not being set up for things to be their fault or, you know, any sort of abuse type of stuff.
Yeah.
And in my world, where abuse happened, for me, I feel like it is abuse to women. I feel like it's perpetuating an attitude towards women that we are for others' enjoyment. We are objects. We are not people. And even women who are said to be doing this on their own or enjoy it, in my mind, they have been brought up and bred to be that way in today's society with that, because of that belief of how women are treated. And so I see it not only as someone viewing it as a perpetrator to these women, but they're supporting that attitude of degrading women. And then to me, on this personal level, all over again, it's I'm being abused. So it's there's a lot. It goes into it. I mean, every woman, not every, but certainly I would think religious women are going to feel like that's some form of betrayal or infidelity, you know, to lust after another woman in your heart is to have committed adultery already, you know. So there's that. But for me, it's so much more.
Like anytime I look, I betray you.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
You're victimizing me. You're victimizing every woman that you look at. You're maintaining and perpetuating the cycle of our daughters growing up with the idea that they are objects for entertaining and pleasing men sexually. You're sexualizing them.
our daughters.
Every woman.
Okay.
Perpetuating and supporting that by thinking, it's not a big of a deal, it's okay.
What about if it's a married couple?
They're still doing it to the other women.
Well, the man's on there too.
It's both of them doing that.
Are they both victims?
Yeah.
Even if they choose to and enjoy it?
I think a woman becomes debased that way and feels comfortable with that because of society's attitude that has been perpetuated.
So if a woman gets abused, is it her fault?
The answer is no, it's not. Ever. So, I mean, why? And she's just... I can't even... There's so much more wrapped up in this subject that we're not even going to go into.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't think you'll ever... Okay. Nobody take a drink yet. I'm not tearing up.
Yes, you are.
I don't think you'll ever fully understand the depths of betrayal and hurt and abuse that I feel by you being okay with that. And certainly by thinking it might be fun for both of us to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's a big deal for me. And especially with the whole losing respect for a person.
So do you question whether or not you want to stay married over this?
I did this week.
You did?
I did.
And how far down that path did you go?
Not far. Not far.
What brought you back?
Well, I figured I'm PMSing, not seeing clearly. Been having really bad headaches and just like, I'll wait till I'm thinking more clearly. Don't want to be rash. And that it was coming from just an emotional place, just hurt. And probably not just the pornography stuff, but, well,
Yeah.
our emotional crap this week. So I was like, don't go there.
Uh-huh.
You've already committed, you're staying, don't go back.
How often do both of us have to make that recommit?
I don't know. Well, and that's what got me really feeling insecure in our relationship, because I was like, whoa, if I'm having those thoughts, how many other horrible things am I a part of that disgust him? But he must be totally repulsed by and lose respect about me. What if he decides he can't be with me because of that? What if it becomes so much, with the church that it's like, I can't do it.
And I guess that's why I was getting so upset at the beginning of this, is because I see so much damage being done by the church by this policy,
right,
that I have a hard time reconciling somebody who's willing to stay and separating the two. I put it up there with as bad as the racism that the church perpetuated until 1978.
Yeah.
That's how serious I view this issue.
Me too.
And I have no respect for the institution. I have no respect for the leaders. I think they are bad people. I think they have an in-group mentality where if you're not for us, if you're not for us, you're against us. And they are pitting believing family members against their non-believing family members. And to me it's horrible. This church that's supposed to be about families is about destroying families if they don't all believe. So we both have these issues where the person who we love is wrapped up in something bigger than themselves or more concerning than themselves. And for me, it's the church, and for you, Naomi, it's a lot more personal because it's something that I participate in, not regularly, but I have. And I guess to a certain extent, it's also for me because you go to church every week, and our kids are going, and they're being taught this stuff.
I don't always, I don't always support the institution. I'm a doctrine person, and I try to compartmentalize that a lot. You don't get it, you hate it, but as far as the institution, we have a lot of agreements on that.
Agreement?
Yeah. So that helps. But the idea that you're morally okay with, something that I view as really, really bad.
And you're morally okay with something that I view as really, really bad.
Am I? Because I'm not morally, following or supporting the institution.
Would you pay tithing if I
Yeah, I would. So, yep, you got me. So yeah, that's when I hit low about feeling super insecure. He doesn't want to be married to me.
I do want to be married to you.
He's just staying for the kids. He's just lying to himself. He's plugging away. I'm not what he wants. That's what I texted you.
Uh-huh.
I'm not what you want.
You are what I want.
You're the one that I want?
Yeah.
You are the one?
You are the one, yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know that's Grease, but...
I'm keeping myself from crying.
Yeah, I'm not in the mood to joke very much right now.
I've only teared up twice, people. That's not crying. The tears have not fallen.
You've still got red eyes. But, I guess I sometimes question, is this marriage for me? Is this what I want to... Do I want to stay in it? But It is. I'm completed by you. We've made I feel like I'm being overly dramatic, but we've made a life together. And we have, forget the kids. We love our kids. But what do we do tonight? We went out and sat down and talked and had a good time before we came back to record this. And we talk at night and share our feelings and our hopes and our wishes with each other. I mean, we've talked about all this stuff before, but I guess we need to remind ourselves of that sometimes. We're a good pair.
It's true. We make a good team.
Yeah. And I think people see that in us. I mean, your sister, when she was having marriage problems, talked to you about that.
Yeah.
About our teamwork and our
That was when we were both on the same page, though.
Would she say the same thing
We
now?
were in sync. I don't know. I mean, we definitely have the same sort of communication style.
You and I do.
Yeah, it works well for us. The way we approach problems.
But is that enough?
Yeah.
It is.
That's huge. It's huge.
We talked to after our conversation a couple weeks ago, episode 6, I believe. We I don't know if you were there or not, but I talked to our therapist about that episode and about how we were sitting there trying to figure out, what do we see in each other? What do we have in common?
What do we have in common?
Right. And the answer is we're friends.
Yeah. He's like, it doesn't necessarily have to be the list that you would give on Match.com. I like sunsets. I like soccer.
I like boobs. Yours.
Good save. But yeah, we like being around each other. We enjoy the feeling of hanging out.
Yeah, and the conversation that we have.
It's okay for us to have different interests.
Do you remember our conversation when we first met?
Yeah.
At the basketball game.
We talked about anything and everything.
We did.
That's why we married each other. Well, one of the reasons.
One of the reasons.
You just wanted to have sex.
Well, that was that was a goal before we got married.
Oh.
We had a missionary who the story goes that he was about ready to go home off his mission, and like randomly in the middle of the night I can't wait to have sex.
That was the whole goal.
That was the whole goal.
Gotta get married so I can do that.
You're 19 years old, 21 years old, ready to get home, and you've never put it in somebody, and you just want to.
Oh my God.
You've put it in your hand.
This conversation has taken a turn that I did not foresee at all.
You've put it in your hand several times.
What?
Let's admit it, missionaries, returned missionaries. That was a thing, even though you said you didn't.
Never happens.
Yeah. Right.
I'm in my land of denial.
Right. So you want to have that experience. It's like this rite of passage.
Anyway.
Naomi's like, what is wrong with you, Neil?
We're relationships, masturbation. I'm just, it's not gelling with me. So I'm just, you let me know when you're ready to get back to something.
Well, I'm just enjoying thinking about our first time having sex.
Yeah, that's what you were enjoying thinking about when you were talking about your hand?
Well, I wasn't thinking about, I was just saying that missionaries love their hand way more often than what you want to think about.
You've got to edit this out.
No, not a chance.
Okay, so where were we? A relationship.
Hands.
We get along. We don't always like the same things.
We've had this conversation before.
You know what? I do remember when we were in our younger married years, your mom, I was like, do you really like golf? Because your dad's way into golf, like crazy, way into it.
Yeah.
And, she's like, well, yeah. I mean, I realized if I want to spend time with him and show interest that I probably need to take that up, So we do things like that. We don't love the same things, but you go to a chick flick even though you wouldn't pick it because your wife likes it and she's probably, going to come with you hunting or shooting at the range. I don't know.
Go with me hunting, not
Whatever
come with me hunting.
Oh, stop it. But we do that.
That would be an uncomfortable place.
We do that with hobbies.
Uh-huh.
So why not do that with the more serious stuff, right? I mean, we deal. We go along with the flow.
Deal.
We go along with the flow, even though that's not what we're into.
And that's part of compromise. That's part of any normal marriage, I think. Loving each other.
It's the whole respect thing. I mean, you do say that. I just lost a whole lot of respect for that person. Any respect I may have had, I don't have any. There is none left.
I don't say that too often. Do I?
Probably not.
You're just remembering it because you personalize it more.
Maybe. I don't even know that I've personalized it until this week.
Like what started?
When the thought even crossed my mind.
Why did it cross your mind? I don't understand. Like, it's not like we had any abnormal event. I mean, we did have one abnormal event. I stayed out longer than what you wanted me to.
But that was because we went to a store.
Oh. And that started
that spurred a lot of feelings and thoughts.
The smallest thing.
And yeah.
Can send you into a tailspin. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying
it's definitely related to a much bigger thing. So it's pretty fresh. Yeah. Pretty fresh.
So that set you off, got you thinking a lot about. I
mean, that was just the first catalyst, but what happened after and.
But just like going back. So yeah, you had all these things, but what I'm concerned about is you hearing me say, well, I lost a lot of respect for that person, and you internalizing it, well, he must not have respect for me if he feels that way. Like, what do I do and say that make you think that?
It wasn't until I was like, wow, I've lost some respect for him because of that belief. It wasn't until that.
And that hit you this.
I was like, whoa. He must have lost so much respect for me. So much. How can he view me as... Because you want your spouse to hold you up on a pedestal and think you're great, right?
What types of things do you not deserve respect over? In my eyes, do you think?
Okay, so... The best I can relate it to is, do you remember that night the church came out with the seer stone or whatever that Joseph Smith used or whatnot?
Yeah.
Okay. You were like ready to sleep in the other room. You said, I don't know if I can be married to someone who believes in this. Like, that is how, like, I think that's kind of what it was like for me. Like, whoa, this is so crazy out there. Something I think is so ridiculous and disrespectful. how can I even be married to a person that is like associated with this? Like how is that even okay?
I mean, I have to admit there are times when I've had those thoughts. I've had those thoughts in regards to the Seer Stone. I've had those thoughts in regards to racism in the Book of Mormon and mass killings in the Book of Mormon as though it's normal and acceptable. So I guess we have a different set of important things to us in our spouse.
Well, this is what's tough. I don't use a seer stone. I don't go mass murder. I don't do the whole racism thing. Like, I'm not...
You're not
participating in that.
Passively, you are.
Okay, you participate in the thing that I find
repulsive.
So awful.
Well, I would say you participate in some of it too. You go to church, you read this stuff.
Yeah, but I mean those horrible parts.
You read it and believe it.
But it's an act. It's what you are doing is an action. Like, I don't know.
Is belief an action? Is belief a verb or is it a noun?
Belief can move you to action.
Uh-huh. And belief... I guess I'm not going to defend myself on the pornography thing because I agree with you. I think it's not good. It's not healthy for our relationship. But this is where I get worried when it comes to religion and when it comes to you. Not that I think you'll do this, but people in the church do atrocious things because the religion tells them to. Mm-hmm. Most recently, in my mind, is Prop 8 in California. People were told if you have set aside savings for a vacation, give up your vacation to support this initiative to make gay marriage illegal. So you personally may not participate in everything, but you belong to an institution that does this stuff. And that, I guess, even though it may not be as personal to you, it still is to me to a certain extent because I can see the things that people have been motivated to do because their leaders told them to. And I do not subscribe to the belief that when the prophet speaks, the thinking has been done. And I don't like seeing our kids go and learn that. I don't like knowing that you have made covenants in the temple to do that. It's not so much what you do right now, it's what there is a potential of happening. What type of demand will the church make on you that will put us at odds at each other to the point where it ends our marriage? At what point does the church become more important to you than me?
Right. There's always that fear.
So even though...
Which I have that fear. Like, at what point does, enjoying that and believing that become, amongst other things, become more important than, I don't know, me having a problem with it. Because if you're like, just, it's not that big of a deal, she needs to get over it.
Yeah.
What's wrong with her feeling this way? I don't know. And you might get mad at me, and all of a sudden you don't really care if it hurts on a bad day. It's just morally, you're okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it goes both ways. It sucks. I really do try hard in the way that I live the gospel and certainly the way I explain things to the kids. And I frequently say, now, you know, this after church, like we clarify, and then there's this. And I really try to not be a part of that crap and to not have the kids be a part of that. I don't know how much of, if that does any good for you.
There's still the potential.
Yeah.
You wear your garments. You made those covenants.
Well, you destroyed my afterlife, so.
Yeah.
I mean, how do we live with that?
We do.
We table it. We put it aside.
Is that healthy?
We say, well, we're not dealing with that right now. It's what I'm doing with the church.
Yeah.
There's enough good and stuff going on here. I'm going to worry about that later. Doesn't have to be the main focus of our life. We don't have to shine a light on that part. We can focus on the other stuff.
But it's intrinsically intertwined in every aspect of our life. Well, not every aspect, many aspects of our life.
It's always going to keep coming back up.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying it's intertwined in many aspects of our life. It's not something that is just going to go away. It's something that we have to confront and deal with.
So, I mean, how are we dealing with it?
We're doing a podcast.
So we can talk about it and say it sucks?
Yeah.
Somehow that's dealing with it?
We're going to therapy.
Yeah.
Actively every week. We're going on dates. We're spending time together. We're rediscovering our vitality and why we love each other. But it's not always easy. But at the same time, I don't want to just give up and walk away.
So I've said a lot of hard things that are pretty, I imagine, hurtful of thoughts and feelings I was having this week. I felt
rejected.
What are your feelings? And I mean, walk me through your thought process.
This week? Mm-hmm. This has been a really rough week. It started off with Sunday when you expressed in very clear terms your displeasure about me and about what I was about not coming home and returning your calls. So I started feeling rejected and that I was a bad person and that there was a problem with me as a person. It continued throughout the week. I wasn't feeling well. I wasn't feeling mentally on top of things during the week. I had a lot of anxiety.
You weren't sleeping well.
Wasn't sleeping well.
And all of those things lead you to turn to pornography as a coping tool frequently.
Yeah, not this week.
So the whole week I'm like freaking out. And then I'm like, why doesn't he want to touch me? It's just, I mean, my mind runs away. You know that.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were talking about you and your
No,
feelings.
that's fine.
Go on.
I did touch you this week.
You did.
I did.
It was very nice.
Vaginally.
Shut up. I'm so embarrassed.
Nobody knows who we are. We're
Yeah, they
using
do. They all know who we
pseudonyms.
are. Our family knows who we are.
Well, they don't listen anyway.
I think they do.
Some do. Some don't. But I was feeling like less of a person, like I wasn't worth much this week. A lot as a result of some of the things that you said.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Even though I was trying to build you up, like, about work and stuff?
I'm a human being. Human beings don't focus on the positive all the time.
Oh, yeah.
When you hear something negative about yourself, especially from someone you love, it weighs heavily.
And you took it as negative about you.
Well, yeah.
Because for me, I was going through crap. It was me. It was my crap. I was in a bad place.
And you were lashing out.
And I lashed out.
Yeah,
it wasn't, you're awful.
Yeah, but I felt emotionally abused.
You felt like that's what I was saying was,
I looked up
you're awful.
the definition of abuse the next day.
Calling someone an ass is
In my mind,
pretty
it was.
abusive.
In my mind, it was.
Yeah, I think you're right.
When I try not to...
You've never name called me.
I don't name
ever.
call. I'm passive in my abuse.
You treat me really well most of the time.
Most of the time. But passively, I don't.
I've
always.
only ever called you name twice now.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it seem like I do that all the time.
No, you
And
don't.
I don't want to ever do it again.
You don't. But when you're depressed and feeling...
I was insecure, super insecure,
Yeah. And I was depressed. I wasn't doing well.
super angry, felt like you didn't care about me. Was sure, like, past mistakes were being repeated. Wasn't trusting, and I was just, yeah, we were both in a bad place.
And our worlds collided in a very unhealthy way.
Instead of talking about it and leaning on each other for support, we internalized, and then I blew up. And what did you do?
I tried to stay calm. Came home and...
Did you drink? I mean, did you, what? There was that one night you were like, I was not myself. What was that? Do you know?
I hadn't missed, for some reason I took my pills late, but it was, I think I had anxiety. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had anxiety something.
Yeah, that was weird.
I was not feeling, you could have told me to go pose for a nude magazine and get a tattoo, pierce my eyebrows, pierce my ears.
You said piercer.
Pierce my scrotum, pierce my belly button. I would have done anything that night.
You're just like, whatever.
Yeah, I felt, I don't know. I don't think I felt that out of control in a long time. And that wasn't alcohol. That was just anxiety, overwhelmed.
That is how I have been for the longest time. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I mean, you've heard me say in therapy, I'm just tired. Tired of trying to be true to myself. Tired of trying to be, the person I want to be, because you don't like it.
I don't like it.
Yeah, because it's just like not worth it. It's just so overwhelming and so much anxiety and so much insecurity and depression. It's just like, whatever. I'll just do whatever just to get by. I give up. I give up trying to be in control. I give up trying to do anything because we lost control a long time ago in our relationship. So now I think we feel out of control on a personal level. And so we're both like, fine, I quit trying to have any control. What's the point?
Good.
Oh, beep. You have to beep that.
Okay. That's what
But yeah, I think that's where we're at. We're just like,
we're out of control.
out of control. Why try to control anything now? Because it's all just going to fall wherever it wants anyway.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that with our therapist. Maybe that'll be next week's topic.
Yeah. Boy, this is just great. Let's just share all of our problems with the world. For those who I work with who are listening, don't hold this against me, please. Yeah, this is...
They're Christian. They already think you're going to hell, right?
Not necessarily. I don't think they think that. But, you know, I'm sharing things that you don't normally talk about at work.
We're all just people trying to do what we think is right and do our best.
I don't know. I mean, this was just a tough week, and every time I think we're making progress,
there's a tough week.
There's a tough week.
That's usually kind of how it goes.
Yeah, we want everything to be perfect, but it's not.
Okay, well, let's go back over the week and talk about the good stuff.
Okay.
I mean, maybe we forgot some stuff.
I'm not in the mood to feel good about this week.
You're not?
No.
We'll feel good about it later. Because there was good stuff,
okay,
too.
Tell me.
Okay, well...
We made plans for our daughter's sweet 16th birthday.
That was really fun.
And I'm looking at her present right now.
And we had some good physical relations.
Vaginally.
Oh, you love that word. And we... did we spend time with the kids or something?
No. I worked late most of the week.
Did we sit together?
No.
You were at work a lot. You got to go pass out your DJ cards.
Yes. Anybody listening in North Carolina?
He's an awesome DJ.
Yeah.
Karaoke, fog, the crazy lights, all of it.
Yeah. Not that matters, but...
Yeah, he's fun. We'll get there. We'll remember the good again.
Sometimes
it's okay to just have a crappy week. If I've learned anything about depression, I wake up some days and I just go, it's going to be one of those days. And sometimes I just have to allow myself to have a day where I'm going to be depressed and I'm going to feel like crap. And I just tell myself, okay, here's how long I'm going to give myself to wallow. And tomorrow I have to be done. Tomorrow I have to do all those things that get me out of the hole. And so maybe that's where we're at with this week.
Next week we'll do all those things that get us out of the hole.
Next week we're going to get out of the hole. Or
maybe I'll get in the hole.
Oh, shut up. We already did that.
Oh.
So like, does it have to be next? When does next week start? Can we start tomorrow?
Maybe.
Okay. Let's say by dinner time tomorrow, we're done wallowing.
Well, I think we're pretty much done wallowing today.
Yeah, but we got to get the last little bit out.
We're going to go watch The Elephant Man tomorrow night with my humanist friends.
That's tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It'll be fun.
I'm going to be offended, huh?
No.
I won't?
I don't think so, no.
No one's getting naked?
They're going to do it in good taste. You're not going to see
I'm not going to
anything.
see parts?
No.
Sweet.
If we were on Broadway, yes, you would see parts, but not tomorrow, no. Because I asked the director about that, and he said, no, we're not. This is community theater. We've got to be tasteful.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
This was, wow, this one was a surprise. This whole talk, it was a doozy of one.
What are your thoughts about it?
It was good. we had to get that out.
Yeah.
I'm still out of control. I'm still scared. There's still tons of stuff unknown, but I feel more confident that you really do want to be with me, that you do see redeeming things.
Your vagina.
And, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. And I'm more confident about, the core you and the redeeming things and the whole respect crap. And it's not at the forefront of concerns.
Okay.
It's, there's more important things in life.
Then whether or not we respect each other?
No, I mean, just those issues. I mean, you table them because it's not directly a problem yet.
Yeah.
And if it comes up as a huge problem, we'll deal with it.
Okay.
So
that's fair.
So that's the best. I mean, what else do we do, right?
Good.
Beep it again. Beep. Oh, my language. I hate that word.
I know. I'm tired, and so
I hate that word.
Anything that's coming to my mind, I'm saying.
I don't like that word. I don't know what it is about that word.
There's plenty of worse words you could say.
There's bad words all over. That word really gets me. Ooh, it's like when I was younger, my sisters and me, we were like, you do not say penis or vagina. Like, it was just like, oh, Mom, don't say that. You needed the nicknames, your wee-wee, your down under, promised land, whatever you're going to call it. You don't say that word. Vagina's the worst.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
Some words just sick you out. I don't know.
Yeah, that word doesn't sick me out like it used to. It doesn't
It's
bother
just
me.
so dirty. It's taking something beautiful and it's dirty and...
Sometimes you want something beautiful to be dirty.
No, I want it to be meaningful and classy.
Sometimes.
Even if it's like circus sex, I want it to be emotionally... that way.
It can still
and
be
that
emotional.
other word, no, that's like throwing it around like with whoever.
Sometimes you just
whoever, whatever. It's all just a party.
No, not necessarily. Sometimes with your spouse, you just like gotta do it.
I'm just speaking personally.
I gotta be an animal.
I'm just speaking personally for me, for Naomi. Don't be using that word if you want to get me in the mood. That is not going to work. You and your loving me vaginally ain't gonna happen if you're taking that word to town.
I don't know.
Anyway, I think now's a good time to stop. And next week, what were we going to talk about again?
I have no idea.
What was it that came up?
Oh, here's what's happening next week. We are interviewing.
Oh yeah, we are.
So this Sunday, which is the day this is going to drop,
I love them.
we are. There is an episode of Infants on Thrones that will be released where Tom and his wife from Infants on Thrones interviews us.
Oh, I hope he edited me out. I talked way too much and I was tired. He didn't edit me?
Not very much.
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry. I talked too much and it was stupid.
So, but we'll be on this Sunday on that. But we are interviewing him and his wife for this episode, for this podcast on Sunday that will release a week from Sunday. So I'm really excited to get somebody besides us.
We get to have them, hear their story, hear how they work out their crap. At least some of it. I mean, it's only one episode.
Yeah.
But you got to be sick of us, right?
Yeah, I do. I would like to get more guests. So
yes, please.
If you have an interest in being on this, especially if it's you and your spouse,
yeah,
feel free to PM me or Naomi. Probably me, because I look at my Facebook a lot more than Naomi does.
So much.
Or you can private message the podcast page and just let us know.
I would be really interested, too, in a couple that's not, like, yes, definitely Mormon LDS people, but I want to hear from a couple that's
Christian and
not
non-Christian.
of my faith. Like, I don't even care what it is. Just, I want to get that perspective.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
think it'd be helpful.
I mean, you know who you are out there, but I've received private messages from you who I think your spouse is Christian and you're not.
I want to know what we have in common. I want to know what you're going through, and I just want to know I'm not alone just because of my particular religion.
That's fair. Yeah. And
among other things. I mean, that's just one part.
Yep. Yeah. So please, if you want to come on and are willing, we can use fake names. I mean, we're using fake names. If you haven't figured that out yet.
Mine's fake.
Yeah. If you haven't figured that out yet, we are using pseudonyms to protect the innocent.
Moi.
Yeah.
No. I'm not innocent.
But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, the other thing is Patreon. I mentioned this at the top of the show, but we would love some contributions.
Help.
But you don't have to by any means. Don't feel like you're being compelled. But you will get thanked on air.
If you're getting help from this, I thank you.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. If we can help just one person,
Yep.
it's good.
Or like us
Or
on
entertainment.
iTunes. Yeah, or entertainment. Like us on iTunes. We love to see the reviews and the feedback. I think that's everything.
I would just like to point out, you got teary-eyed on this episode.
I did. It's because I was. It's because I was cutting onions while we were.
Right. That's what it was. I had to say that. But anyway, till next time, and I'll remember what it was we were going to talk about, and we'll do that after our Infant on Thrones
interview. Yeah.
So cool.
By the way,
hopefully we hear from some of you guys. And
check out Infants on Thrones if you're interested.
And if this is your cup of tea, try. You can check out Atheist Avengers.
Atheist Avengers and promoting secular feminism. So
we're trying to group up with people who may have similar interests. Some of you may find that interesting. Obviously not the believing spouses.
Yeah.
But
we were listening to Atheist Avengers tonight. He was interviewing.
It was on ghosts. I mean, it was fun.
Paranormal investigators. So, yeah.
Yeah. They weren't the best people to represent paranormal investigators.
Coming from someone who watches paranormal.
I love watching that stuff. I mean, I don't know how I really feel or what I totally believe, but it's fun, And I would have liked to have a little bit more science-y representation.
Well, we will tell Wyatt Mathers that tomorrow night when we see him at the show.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And we will also be speaking with Miss Behaven from Promoting Secular Feminism and Amanda Wright from Promoting Secular Feminism. So it's going to be cool.
I don't know if I know who that is.
I'll tell you later.
I do know him?
Yeah, you know, for sure.
Are those different names?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Miss Behaven and Amanda Wright.
Oh, gosh.
And Wyatt Mathers.
I did not get that. And I love puns.
Yeah. It's all in an effort to protect the innocent.
None of us are innocent.
said that already before.
Yeah,
I hate it when people say
we are so rambling. Okay, we're done.
Okay,
Let the poor people go.
Okay.
Love ya. Bye-bye.
What?
That's how you just end. Just
you
like
do?
That. Like on the phone. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.
It's like hanging up on my mom.
Love you. Love you. Love you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Ready together.
Love you. Bye-bye. I still have it.
Hang up.